This is a CNN special presentation.
There was no time to think, and I got to get the children out.
The wave's indescribable carnage gives way to unbearable sorrow and grief.
The waves took them and, oh, what's happening?
Children share their terrifying choices between life
Dad told us to take the motorbike and run away.
and death.
God, is this my life? I'm gonna die today, you know?
Injured, traumatized. Their wounds are both physical and emotional.
I'm alone, says Xian, except for my father.
When nature's fury brings its worst, humanity brings out its best.
People are really trying to get out and to get moving and to respond as fast as they possibly can.
Tonight on CNN, the tsunami disaster and saving the children.
I'm Anderson Cooper in Barawala, Sri Lanka.
And I'm Christiana Manpour. Thank you for joining us.
Behind us, you can see the Indian Ocean. It's calm and serene, but of course, on December 26, it was anything but. A massive undersea earthquake off the coast of Sumatra spawned the most devastating natural disaster in recent memory.
And that earthquake triggered a huge tsunami, a killer wave that destroyed lives all the way from Thailand to East Africa. 150,000 people in 11 countries have been killed. 50,000 of them are children.
The tsunamis destroyed communities, decimated whole families. Children were literally ripped from the arms of their parents. Many children are now orphans. Many parents face unfathomable grief. The human heart is not big enough to hold such sorrow. Over the next hour, we're going to look at the impact of the tsunami disaster on its most vulnerable victims. Over the next hour, you will meet the children of the storm.
They say that Sri Lanka is shaped like a teardrop, and certainly many people, especially the children, have good reason to cry. The UN is already calling them Asia's tsunami generation. But amid the horror stories, there are also tales of survival, where fate, faith, or just good fortune kept people alive. Among them, orphans. The orphanage is on Sri Lanka's hardest hit east coast at Navaladi Beach. I traveled there on a Sri Lankan Air Force plane to hear the story from a Sri Lankan-born priest who is also a US citizen. He says he achieved a feat that he can only describe as a miracle. These children really should be dead. The tsunami swamped their orphanage. But they're playing and smiling, thanks to the quick thinking of their caretaker, Father Dayalan Sanders. With monsoon rains now adding to the misery, Father Sanders took us across the lagoon to tell us the story of how he and the kids escaped certain death at Navaladi Beach. The story starts early morning, Sunday, December 26, with his panic-stricken wife.
She just burst into the room, and I've never seen her look so terrified, and I thought, what could be this wrong for her to look like this? And she said, the sea is coming. Words defy description of what I saw. It was a massive 30-foot wall of water, black in color, just coming at us, like 1,000 freight trains charging at you. I knew that I had to act fast. There was no time to think, and I got to get the children out. I came here and I was shouting at the top of my lungs. They came, I ran, I carried, I just threw them over the fence.
Their only method of escape, a small boat tied up behind the orphanage. Safe now in a friend's home, the youngest remember how terrified they were.
I was in front. We saw the wave coming. I got down in the boat. I am still afraid. We ran to the boat. I saw a car slammed against the sea. The sea was black. I was so scared.
When the wave came and lashed the boat from all sides, we were all crying and praying to God to help us.
That's when this man of God made a desperate test of faith. With 32 people, 26 of them children in this tiny boat, he turned to the wave.
I stood up, I raised both my hands, and I said, I command you in the name of Jesus to stop.
And whether the hand of God or just good fortune, the engine was on the boat.
We never leave the outboard motor on the launch. I This is the first time we have done that, which has happened to us.
And for the first time, Stefan the boatman got it going on the first try.
He just yanked the starter rope. In one pull, it started. I said, this is what happened. I called upon my God, I prayed, and my God answered my prayer.
But the drama wasn't over. They still had to outrun the wave.
There's no power on earth that could resist this, the force that was behind this body of water. So the only safe place was right on top of it. And then and there, I was determined I'm going to get on top of that.
He ordered Stefan to turn round and charge the overloaded 15-horsepower motor straight at the wave. An hour and a half later, they all floated into the town of Batticaloa, drenched, spent, but alive. This east coast took the full brunt of the tsunami. It's hard to imagine, but nearly half of all the victims here in Sri Lanka have been children. And for days after the tidal wave struck, parents would come and walk up and down these beaches, hoping that the sea that had seized their children would at least return their bodies. This school is just one of the many shelters in Batticaloa. Some parents have come with their children, but hundreds of children are still missing. This woman has lost one of her daughters, and the waves of grief show no sign of subsiding.
She was cooking in her kitchen, and when she saw the water coming in, she ran, but she has lost 2 children. She has lost her sister and her brother-in-law and 2 children.
Father Sanders saved the children in his care, but his parish is in desperate pain.
Now half the children are not here. Half the people are not here. You know, I will take you and I will tell you stories. My immediate neighbor, he lost his wife and 2 of his children. Now, yesterday he drank poison and he's in the hospital in a critical condition.
And the sorrow of another neighbor who tried to save his sister and mother from the swirling waters.
He said at one point he had to make a decision. Whether to save the mother, hold on to the mother or the sister. And then he finally decided that he was going to hold on to the mother, and he, just let go of his sister. And that, is tearing him apart even now.
Father Sanders will not bend under this terrible sadness and loss. He had built this place as a refuge for the orphans of Sri Lanka's civil war.
I built this brick by brick. Every penny, I saved, I put in here. 20 years of all my labor just vanished in 20 seconds, right in front of my eyes. But I'm not giving up. I'm coming back for the sake of the children, and I'm coming back for the sake of the villages, and it's going to rise like the phoenix.
Right now, Sanders is only getting money from his sister and mother who live in the United States. They're their own funds, and obviously he's hoping for more. Anderson?
Krishana, as you know, Sri Lanka is a land of extended families, generations living under one roof, communities centered around one heart, a church, a mosque, a temple. Closeness is a wonderful thing, except when the waters sweep through, because then an entire community, an entire family can be wiped out in the space of a few seconds.
This is a CNN special presentation.
Can you see by the dawn's early light? stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets friendly bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets friendly bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets friendly bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes